So, is there anything that you won't do for love, or do you have limits, boundaries? Give me 50 feet. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Y'all see it. Y'all see it? Straight hair, don't care. Okay. For now, I'm going to get my twist back in a few days. Okay. But anyway, y'all know what to do. Bump up the thumbs up, share the video, become a subscriber if you are not already. Hit the notification button. That way you don't miss any of my videos. Okay. We are talking about a few things. Number one, is there anything that you won't do for love? Are you a ride and die kind of chick, kind of man? Okay. Does that type of love still exist anymore? Well, child, it does for somebody. It does for somebody. Let me put up my artwork though. I'll tell you who it don't exist for. There's some people with limits and there's some people who don't have limits. Here's my artwork. We are talking Porsha Williams. We are talking Teyana Taylor and Melody Sheree. Y'all can guess which one does and which one don't. Okay. We'll get there in the stories though. Who else are we talking about? I got some other stories for y'all. You see the scroll at the bottom. All opinions are alleged, but I'm going to back it up. Okay. So without further ado, let's get it started. So the other day, y'all, I brought you a story about Jonathan Major's child. I told y'all that two huge stories hit social media or the news circuit where we learned that there was audio of Jonathan admitting with his own mouth that he aggressed, which was basically him confirming that he had strangled. That's the actual word that was put in the report. Strangled his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari, and that audio was secretly taped by Grace 1 year before we see her and Jonathan in the streets of New York, and her running, or I should say this, he was running. Jonathan was running and Grace was chasing after him like she was the aggressor, okay? She aggressed him, is what a lot of people thought, felt, still believed. Anyway, he was found guilty, and part of the reason he was found guilty is because of that audio, and there may be more rolling down the pike. But after that story came out, we got another one where we learned that Jonathan Majors has admitted to a trauma, a SA trauma that went on, it sounds like, for multiple years. He said it started at the age of 9 at the hands of men and women. So he was a victim of both men and women. So when all of that dropped, I was like, oh, Lord. Okay. Oh, Lord. Miss Megan Good, you are newly engaged. Not just, wasn't that long ago. And I was kind of curious how she was going to move next. Well, make no mistake. Miss Megan Good says she's a ride and die type of chick. She is riding and dying with Jonathan Majors. And she said, you might as well just call me Megan Majors because, baby, they are married. Jonathan and Megan got married the day after those stories hit. Okay. And guess who married them? Guess who married them? No other than Jonathan Majors' mama. So I'm going to read the story for y'all. It says that Jonathan Majors and Megan Good were married on Tuesday, March 18th, in a private ceremony at their Los Angeles home. The intimate wedding was officiated by Majors' mother, a Methodist pastor, with only their mothers in attendance. Look, Megan's best friend is her sister, and she wasn't even there. So there may be people who weren't in agreement with this wedding, a private and intimate ceremony. The couple announced their engagement on November 2024 at the Ebony Power 100 Gala, where they first met 2 years ago. They began dating, however, in May of 2023 when Jonathan was at the height of that trial, the DV trial with Grace Jabari. So these two ended up dating at the height of a huge crisis in Jonathan's life. And they, surprise, surprise, get married at the height of a huge crisis in Jonathan's life. Because when that first go round happened in 2023, everything got pulled from underneath Jonathan. Endorsements, movie deals that were already filmed were shelved, movie deals that he had contracts for the future were pulled, commercials, the whole nine. The man lost everything overnight. And all of a sudden, we get this audio in the same week that Jonathan's new movie drops. Jonathan has a new movie dropping on Friday, March 21st. And then it looks like Megan may have tried to, Megan and Jonathan decided to get married to kill that bad press. So they wanted the story about their marriage to rise to the top like cream, and all of that bad press to hit the bottom. And child, I'm telling you what the optics looks like. It looks like he got married so that that man can continue on with this movie deal. He's been doing press for it already. You're hoping that there's no bad, information that comes out. We shall see if it turns into something else. But right now, what I do know is that Megan is a stand by her man type of chick. And y'all can talk to me in the comments and let me know what y'all think about that, if you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. They're married at this point. But talk to me anyway. I want to know y'all feelings. Do you agree with this? Is this advice that you would give to your best friend if this was something they were going through? Let me know, and we are going to move forward with the next one. Let's talk about Miss Porsha Williams, okay? Porsha Williams comes across as a person who loves very hard and very, very quickly. We've seen some of these scenes with her on RHOA, okay? Now, listen, it looks like she might be doing her baby daddy a solid, though. Her baby daddy, the one that doesn't pay child support. Did y'all remember? I think it was Porsha Family Matters, when her and Dennis is having that heated conversation. And she said, "You don't pay child support. You don't get to tell me what school Pilar goes to." And he looked at her and went, "Are you a broke bitch? Are you doing broke bitch shit now?" Right? And Porsha swallowed hard, like she didn't even know what to say. I was like, uh-oh. He said, "You ain't never asked me for money, but you know that if you needed it, she could get it. Okay. You don't have to worry about that." So I was sitting there like, well, boo, you should just be dropping money off at the house. But okay, I'm from a different generation, child. Anyway, Porsha, I think, might be doing her daddy, her baby daddy, a solid. Baby daddy a solid. Lord have mercy. She might be doing her baby daddy a solid. And this is what I mean by that. So episode 2 of Rozay played out last week, Sunday. And Porsha had some choice things to say about Drew, calling her a low down, dirty, nasty individual. But while she was saying that, the rest of the cast was in agreement. Like pretty much everybody in that room felt the exact same way Porsha did. Even Kenya has a meetup with Drew that's going to play out in episode 3, where she says, "I don't agree with what you did, Drew." Okay, so all of this bad press is happening with Drew in the show around the same exact time that Drew's album is going to drop. And if y'all did not know, Porsha's baby daddy, Dennis, is not only the producer, but he is the financier. He is the reason this album is happening. And so Porsha actually did a little bit of a live to talk about it. Let's watch.
Drew, you know what, Drew? I don't know. Y'all know Drew. I think Drew, a lot of y'all didn't want Drew back on the show. So I think coming into this season, she had her ready-made storyline with Baby Daddy, and they knew I would react because who wouldn't? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody's doing something behind your back, like trying to film behind your back or whatever, you're going to have something to say. I mean, if I was filming with Ralph and she found out, she would be like, "Wait a minute, why didn't you just give me a heads up?"
Okay, so she just went on to basically say that her and Drew are cool. She understood what she was doing, that she's not mad at the moment. And I really feel like she was trying to just take some of the pressure off of Drew so that her baby daddy can move forward, I guess, and make his loot, okay, his munyan, and yeah, Drew can, her album can come out and people won't feel a way about it. But she is saying that she thinks that Drew faked out that storyline to get a reaction out of her. So y'all talk to me in the comments about what you think about that, okay? Because listen, at the end of the day, Dennis was also a producer for Simon's ex-wife, Fallon, and Fallon was trying to move forward with her singing career, right? He's picking some real interesting people to produce. Okay. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. All right, let's talk about Teyana Taylor. Is there anything she wouldn't do for love? Well, at one point there was, yes, absolutely. Teyana Taylor loved her some Iman Shumpert, okay, her ex-husband. So much so that even when they were in divorcing, she went out of her way to protect that man's reputation. There was some stuff that came out in the press about Iman cutting off the utilities in the house she was living in. He was court ordered to continue paying all of that stuff, the house note, all of the utilities, everything, right? And then all of a sudden everything goes dark. He probably tried to have the house go into foreclosures too, child, because that seems to be a trick that people do. Y'all remember Sheree's ex-husband, Bob. He let that house go into foreclosure. He refused to pay for it. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Miss Teyana came out and said, my baby daddy wouldn't do that. Everybody's okay, whatever. She was protecting him. And now she said, gloves are off, boo, because you are out here unsealing court documents, sending them to the blogs, and making people believe that I have taken you for a ride. And in turn, people are threatening Teyana, like, girl, give that man back his money and you don't need it and you're making that man broke and all of those things, right? But she said that her life has been physically threatened and she feels a way about it. So much so that she is asking the judge to hold Iman Shumpert, her ex-husband, in contempt of court. In contempt of court. She said that she wants that man to do jail time. Okay. Not only is she asking for that, she is requesting jail time. So yeah, let's listen to a little bit of it. Okay. Hold on.
Walked away with all his properties. I walked away with all my properties. Iman walked away with a car that I bought him. That's clear. But let's also, we're not going to sit here and make it seem like Teyana's using Iman for anything. Like, at the end of the day, yes, Iman made his money and so did I. I've been in this business since I was 15 years old. We're not going to act like my bank account is like, nah, we're not doing that. I've had several Jordans. I've had several movies, several deals, all still active.
Okay, so when they first started divorcing, when all of that stuff started happening, it was leaking out that Iman was actually jealous of Teyana Taylor's career and the money that she was making. And so this seems to be still an ongoing fight, that he is upset that, or thinking, well, you have money, so I shouldn't pay anything. As y'all just heard in the audio, she's like, you left with the houses you owned. You left with whatever your deals were. You left with the cars you own, including the one that I bought you. And she said, I've always had my stuff and I left with my stuff. So she's trying to set the record straight. And so clearly, I think these threats are pretty serious. And I think it's also serious if she's now saying, I'm not protecting you anymore. I'm not protecting you anymore. That is a real big deal. So she said that her love has a limit, baby. And furthermore, I did see what he does have to pay. He has to continue to pay child support. Child support is $8,000, $8,000 a month. What is so bad about paying child support? I'm just so unclear. You make those children, you should take care of those children. But I guess he didn't get the dentist deal. Hey, Porsha. So he is upset about that. And he, I guess he feels like he's going to harass her into stopping those payments. But y'all talk to me. Let me know what y'all think, because we're about to move on to some other stuff. We're going to talk about Melody Sheree for a second. Listen, and the reason why I'm bringing her up is because when, we've all been talking about Destiny's ex-husband asking that the judge hold her in contempt, and then either or both. Listen, she needs to be fined for not following the court order. She's in contempt. Fine her, jail her, do both, right? Now we are hearing Teyana Taylor say, I'm done. I've always protected him, but right now I am asking that he be jailed for contempt, for unsealing those court records that talked about her children and what the two of them had to split, right? And it made me think about Melody Sheree, because listen, y'all remember on the reunion stage when Martell's wearing that tight ass red jacket, suit jacket, and he goes storming off to get the court paperwork. He was passing out court paperwork even then. Even then, he passed it to Melody. I got the paperwork. And then he hands it to Carlos King. According to Melody, she said those were sealed documents. I believe that's what she said. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Sealed documents. And the truth of the matter is, because I think that documents has been released every time they've gone to court. Now, I didn't read those documents on my page, just so everybody knows. I did hear other bloggers read them. But if those documents are sealed, then they were going from blog to blog to blog to blog. And according to Melody, she said, you had those papers released. You sent those documents to bloggers. So I'm kind of curious, because all of this new stuff is coming out. Child, is this something you can add on to the contempt order? Because Martell has really clear instructions or a request for the judge. And he's asked that judge, I don't even think Melody has asked this. Melody asked to be refunded for the stuff that he stole from her, right? And also right now, it is alleged that Melody is asking the court for full custody of the children, because Martell wasn't compliant. He was in contempt of what the judge asked for. And that's when the judge put some stricter rules on Martell. But Martell is asking that the judge punishes Melody for what he has recently accused her of. He's saying that he wants a monetary fine and whatever the judge finds fit as punishment. So it gets real nasty, okay? There used to be a time when there wasn't anything you wouldn't do for love. And now all of a sudden, child, I need the jail time in order. So I'm curious, because those documents, I know she mentioned how disappointed she was that they had gotten leaked and all the things. But I'm curious, Melody, did you know that you can ask that Martell be held in contempt for leaking those documents? I guess if she has proof that he did, and that she could request that the judge punishes him with jail time. So what do y'all think about all of it? Talk to me in the comments, because it gets deep, child. Let me know what y'all think about everything. Make sure you bump up the thumbs up, become a subscriber if you are not already. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, and I'll see you on the next one.